Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. My name is Julian, and this is the weekend episode for week 21 of the fantasy hockey season. Max has been doing an excellent job of filling in for me for these weekend ads video. However, I am finally back from my trip, and I'll be doing these from here on out in all likelihood. We're going to be doing this just as we always do, and just as Max has been doing. We're going to talk about players that play both Friday and Saturday, then Friday and Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, trying to get you different combinations of teams that play, because in all likelihood, guys, you're going to need that, and that's going to help you win this week and help you get into the playoffs if you are fighting for a playoff spot. So it's going to be really important to listen to this video closely, guys, and make the correct ads to help you slip in to that final playoff spot. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell because you're going to want notifications for all the videos that I'm going to be putting out to help you win your fantasy playoffs and take home that fantasy trophy. Let's get started, guys, and let's jump right into the schedule for this weekend. And as you can see, guys, on Friday there are only 2 games. Saturday there are 15, and Sunday there are 8. Now let's take a look at players that play both Friday and Saturday. Although the part of the video that you're probably going to need the most are the players that play on both Friday and Sunday, because those are the days that have the least amount of games. Now, Friday and Saturday, there are 2 teams that play both Friday and Saturday only. And now, Saturday, you're probably full, but just in case you aren't, let's take a look at some players that play both Friday and Saturday, and let's look at who is the best ad for those 2 days. And the best option is Sam Bennett, who's playing on the second line right now with Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe, which is definitely not a bad deployment at all. Sam Bennett also gives you a safe floor always with hits and with shots on goal. So he's definitely the best option if he is available. Anthony Duclair is obviously a great option as well, playing on the top line with Alexander Barkov and Eetu Luostarinen. Then we have Eetu Luostarinen, who's playing on that top line as well. Definitely not a bad option and has been producing as of late. Only 4% rostered there. Then Andreas Athanasiou of the Chicago Blackhawks, who has been playing on the top line with Philip Kurashev and Lucas Reichel, which is obviously a great place to be. Lucas Reichel is another great guy to be adding right now. 2% rostered. Has not been quite as hot as Athanasiou, but is getting a better deployment than him, getting top power play time, whereas Athanasiou is only getting power play 2 time. Anton Lundell of the Florida Panthers getting third line center time, which isn't the best deployment in the world, but still better than some other options that we have. And then Tyler Johnson getting second line time right now in Chicago with Cole Gutman and Taylor Radish, and has been producing a lot more than those 2 guys. We're going to move on to the most important part of the video, the Friday and Sunday games. And there's 2 teams that play both Friday and Sunday. Those teams are Anaheim and Calgary. The number 1 guy to add would actually be Troy Terry. I don't have him on this list because I thought he was higher than 60% rostered, but it looks like Troy Terry's actually 56% rostered. So he's the number 1 guy that I would add because he is getting top line time with Mason McTavish and top power play time. Looking pretty good right now. Mason McTavish would be the number 2 guy I would add at 17% rostered only. Mason McTavish is definitely someone that I'm liking right now. He's on a nice hot streak, playing with Troy Terry, playing top power play time. The deployment is there. The production is there. Add this guy now for those 2 days. Jacob Pelletier at only 2% rostered is the next guy that I would go after, playing on the top line with Tyler Toffoli and Elias Lindholm. It's a good deployment to be in. He has been producing. He's a guy that I like. Michael Backlund has also been very good this season. He's a third line center in Calgary. Has been giving you a really nice safe floor with those shots on goal. However, his production has cooled down as of late, which is why I only have him 3rd on this list. Then Jacob Silfverberg at 1% rostered has been pretty hot lately, getting top 6 time as well as power play 2 time, and he is firing the puck. So Jacob Silfverberg is actually not a terrible option at only 1% rostered. He's available in 99% of leagues. Good option for this weekend. Frank Vatrano, 10% rostered. Vatrano playing well. Unfortunately, he's on the 3rd line right now, so while he is giving you a safe floor with those shots on goal, the deployment isn't that great, which is why I have him only at number 5 here. Ryan Strome is playing on the 2nd line right now with Trevor Zegras and Brock McGinn. Brock McGinn's another guy you could consider because he is playing on that line right now, but Ryan Strome is the better player, so I'd go for him. Then Andrew Mangiapane, who's playing on the 3rd line right now in Calgary with Michael Backlund and Blake Coleman. Definitely not a terrible deployment, but this guy is streaky as hell, and he's not on the streak right now, so definitely not a guy that I'm super excited about grabbing, but if he's available, you could grab him. Another guy that you can consider is Nick Ritchie, playing right now on the 2nd line in Calgary with Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau. Then if you need someone that plays both Saturday and Sunday, there are 13 teams that play both of those days. Now, I doubt that you actually do need someone that plays both Saturday and Sunday because your lineup on Saturday is probably full, and your lineup on Sunday is relatively probably full-ish as well. Just in case, though, these are the teams that play both those days. Arizona, Boston, Carolina, Detroit, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York Rangers, Ottawa, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Vegas, and Winnipeg. First on the list, obviously, would be Dawson Mercer, who's super hot right now, 66% rostered. Then I go with Rickard Rakell, 64% rostered. Nick Schmaltz, 35. Teravainen, 56. Zucker, 23. Palat, 22. Back on a little bit of a streak there. Krejci, 28% rostered. Then I'd go with Blake Wheeler, who's getting top power play time once again at 46% rostered. Killorn, 28, who's very hot right now as well. Krause, 16% rostered, gives you a pretty safe floor. Riley Smith, 44. Niederreiter, 24% rostered. He's also doing pretty well right now for Winnipeg. Brian Rust, 47% rostered. Then Brandon Hagel, 60% rostered, but he is very cold right now. Seth Jarvis at 34% rostered. Tomas Tatar at 20% rostered. Tyler Bertuzzi, 37% rostered, but he is only on the third line right now, so I'm not super high on him, but definitely someone who could move up the lineup. Ross Colton, 10% rostered. Alexi Lafreniere, 24% rostered. Eric Howla at 13% rostered. And then finally, Jesperi Kotkaniemi at only 6% rostered. If you need defensemen, guys, the number one defenseman to be adding for this weekend is Jeff Petrie at only 55% rostered. He's available still in 45% of leagues and is quite hot right now and has been pretty good all year for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Shane Gostisbehere of the Carolina Hurricanes, looking pretty good so far to start off his career in Carolina. Am I super optimistic that this is going to continue? No, because he's not getting top power play time. He's only getting PP2 time. Now, don't get me wrong. The PP2 in Carolina is pretty stacked. However, I just don't think that this kind of production is super sustainable for a Gostisbehere. But we're going to have to wait and see, because for now, he's been doing it, so he's worth a pickup for now, as long as he's hot. Dmitry Orlov at 60% rostered has been insanely hot for Boston. I don't think this production is sustainable at all either, but for now, the dude is just producing and getting some nice peripherals as well to go with it. Orlov's a good pickup right now. Cam Fowler at 17% roster is playing on the top power play right now in Anaheim, which makes him a good add as well. Seth Jones at 62% rostered is producing. Despite the lack of talent around him, is still continuing to produce in Chicago and is playing on that top power play, which is good deployment for him. Braden McNabb's a good one as well, continuing to get a safe floor every single night in Vegas with those hits and those blocks. Brady Shea, same kind of thing, a bit of a safe floor and does put up points every little while as well. Jacob Slavin has been putting up a little bit of points lately, which makes him a little bit of an interesting add at only 20% rostered. And then Juuso Valimaki of the Arizona Coyotes has been playing top power play for them. Definitely could put up some points, and he's only 9% rostered. As for goalies, guys, there are a whole lot of teams that play both Saturday and Sunday. So closer to the date, guys, maybe on Saturday, I'm going to issue a tweet on all the goalies that you can consider adding for Sunday, because right now it's hard to know who's going to start Saturday, who's going to start Sunday. So it makes more sense just to do this in a tweet a little bit later than to put this on the video now. Jumping into the categories league section of this video now, guys. And if you need shots on goal, if you need to catch up on some shots on goal, or you want to make sure that you maintain your lead in that category, guys, the number one guy to be adding is Michael Backlund, who shoots 3.3 times per game. Then Anthony Duclair, who hasn't played that many games, but so far has been shooting 3.2 times per game, which is great. Sam Bennett, 3.1. Rickard Rakell, 3.0. Vetrano, 2.9. Brian Rust, 2.6. Riley Smith, 2.5. And then Jason Zucker and Miles Wood at 2.4. Miles Wood's a good low-owned option because he's only 3% rostered and shoots 2.4 times per game. So if you're in a super deep league, he is probably the guy that you're going to want to be picking up for this. Then if you need blocks, guys, Alec Martinez, Mr. Block, is back, it seems. Blocking 3.2 times per game on average. Seems to be blocking 3 or more shots over his last few games, which is really, really good to see. So Alec Martinez is definitely someone that you could be adding once again for those block shots. Over 2 games, he should get you about 6-7 blocks, which is really, really, really good. Then Jared Spurgeon, 2.5. McNabb, 2.4. Sherratt, 2.2. Murphy, Tanev, and Marcus Patterson all block 2 times per game. If you need hits, there's no surprise here. The best guy to be adding is Radko Gudas of the Florida Panthers. 4 hits per game. So over the Friday and Saturday games, he should get you about 8 hits. And then if you still need hits, you could add someone for Sunday who hits a little bit as well to top that off and, just kind of combine them together. Liam O'Brien hits 3.9 times per game. Keegan Kolesar, 3.8. Jeannot, 3.7. Foligno, 3.6. McBain, 3.5. Tenorti, 3.4. And Garnet Hathaway, now of the Boston Bruins, 3.3. If you need faceoffs, finally, the best guy to be adding that's low-owned is Jordan Staal at only 12% rostered. wins 10.1 faceoffs per game, which is pretty handy. Robert Thomas, 8.7. Backlund, 8.6. William Karlsson, 7.7. Barrett Hayton, 7.1. I have him a little bit higher than some of the other guys because he has been getting that top line deployment over the past few weeks, has been winning more faceoffs than some of these guys below him. Michael McLeod, 7.4. Andrew Kopp, 7.4. Eric Holla, 7.3. Jeff Carter, 7.3. And Adam Lowry, 7.1. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now, I hope you guys use these tips and get yourselves into the fantasy playoffs because it's going to be a fun ride these next few weeks. And I hope that you guys make it all the way and capture that fantasy trophy. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next episode of Fantasy Tips.